Hello folks, I hope you're all doing well. We are down here in the shed because it's a little bit chilly outside. I'll apologise for that one later. Anyway, what we're doing, we're moving on the chilies. So you might remember from part one of this series that we planted 3 different types of chilies and they're ready to be moved on. So they took around about 10 days to germinate, which isn't too bad. They were on the heat, so they need heat. You need to be above around about 25 degrees to get them to germinate. And they've all come along nicely since then. They've had some time under the grow lights and we'll show you what they look like. So these ones here, but check the label. These are the Hungarian hot wax ones, and I'm going to move them all the way up there. You should be able to see how they're looking, and especially that tallish one there. What I'm looking for is for them to have their true leaves on. So for that second set of leaves to come on, and that's when I know they're ready to move on from these initial little trays here into some cell trays. And these ones here, we'll show you the other ones. These are the Kashmir ones. They've only just got their second set of leaves on, so I'm maybe pushing it a little bit with these ones. And even more so with the Carolina Reaper. They're still a little bit wee. They're taking ages to grow compared to the others, but that's how they're looking. But anyway, what I'll do, I'll get you set up over here. You can see we've got this rather messy looking area, but it's where I've got all my pots, all my compost, all my stuff, all my bits and pieces for getting this sort of job done. And we'll hook you up here on the other camera so you're looking straight down on top here so you can see what's going on. So I'll be back with you in just a jiffy. So we've got you in this sort of top-down view so you can see everything that's going on here, and hopefully not just me. So the first things first is we're going to use cell trays. Now I have loads of different shapes and sizes of cell trays to be moving things onto. Some of them are maybe a little bit small and we'll move those ones out the way, and this is the one I'm going to look to use. Now this sort of size here, for this size of plant that we've got, these are about just over 5 centimetres or just over 2 inches square and about the same in depth. So that's what I'm sort of aiming for these little plants to move into. Now the compost I'm using again is Melcourt Silver Grow. It's absolutely brilliant for potting on your little plants and seedlings and things. It is really fine. It is great for bringing stuff on. So we're just going to fill the cell trays up. Now it looks like you're probably able to see little bits of perlite in there. Now I haven't purposefully put perlite in here. It's just some that was left in this sort of green tray here that I use for doing my potting on, because I don't want loads of perlite in. So we put quite a bit of perlite in to begin with in the first lot, but not with this lot. You don't need to put it in because I want the little plants to get as much nutrition as possible from the compost that I'm putting it in, because chili plants can get very hungry. And speaking of which, it's not quite time to give these any feed just yet, but one thing you might want to have a look for, and I'll pop a link to this down below in the description, is this feed here. This is called Chili Focus, and it's specifically designed for feeding your chili plants. So now it's time to go and look for some, get some ordered, ready for later on when you do need them. Now I'll just whiz through one of these trays here, and this is one of the best things I've ever bought. It's brilliant. They're only a couple of quid off Amazon, and they're brilliant for getting little seedlings out of trays like this. And you literally just pop the pronged end in. I'm going to pull it up by the leaves. I'm not pulling it up by the stem. I'm not digging my hand in it about the roots, and it just loosens it there and brings it out, and we get one lovely little seedling to plant on. Then the other thing, if I can find it, here it is, this little dibber that came with this, they come in a set of 2, makes a cracking little hole in the soil, and I'm just going to push that in, and I'm going to plant it pretty much as deep as I can in this cell tray. So I'm going to try and get up to as close of that first set of leaves as I possibly can with those chilies, and I'm just going to pop a little bit of extra compost around the top there to bring them up. Now what I'm going to do is rinse and repeat that with the rest of these little plants, and I'll come back to you in just a jiffy. Right, we're back, and that's all the chili plants moved on into this cell tray. I only did the one there. I didn't think I'd bore you with me moving on 18 different chili plants and doing exactly the same with each one in particular. So just to recap what we've done, nice loads of fresh compost in here. Melcourt Silver Grow, brilliant for doing your seedlings or seeds, anything like that. Pot of these as deep as I can. I want to try and get them as close as we can to that sort of first set of leaves that's grown there, and moving on are absolutely brilliant. Next up, One thing I am going to do, and that is just to top them off, if I can get any out of the bag. Let me just give it a shot. Here we go. We're going to top these off with vermiculite all over it, and the reason I'm doing that is it helps control the moisture that's in the cells and around the plants, because these are going to be getting watered quite a bit. And also, what happens sometimes is when you start to water these plants, like I say, they're going to start to be getting bigger and need more water as we move them on, that you sometimes get sort of like moss and green algae and stuff starting to grow on top of the compost, which it doesn't really do them any harm, but it isn't ideal, and it doesn't look very nice. I always think the vermiculite on the top looks nice. Anyway, right, let me switch around onto the other camera and we'll come back, how we're going to finish these off and what's coming in the next part of the chili series. Right, and there we have it, nearly done. One quick ask of you. Normally a lot of people would ask you to subscribe, to like, to do all sorts of different stuff. I've got a different ask. What I would like you to do is consider going and having a look at one of my other videos. So at the end of this video, some suggestions will pop up on the screen of other videos that I've done. Please think about going and having a watch of one of them. And if you like that one, after you've seen a couple of them, then decide if you'd like to hit the subscribe button. It's absolutely free, doesn't cost you anything. Or if you want to hit the thumbs up, that's free as well. Just click the buttons down below. Anyway, moving on from that, finally, to finish off, so here's all the little chili plants. Let me move you a bit closer there, so hopefully you can see them all in there, all topped off with the vermiculite. A couple of things to mention. It is still a bit chilly out. Oh, there we go again. It's still cold outside. It's freezing. These aren't going anywhere near outside for at least, what are we now? We're the middle of February. So probably start to the middle of May before these make their way towards the polytunnel, I think. So they're going to be nurtured inside, so they're going to go back inside. I'm very, very lucky to have a decent set of grow lights that these are going to sit under. They're probably going to get the light on for around about 12 hours a day. And they're going to sit under there, and eventually, as they grow and grow on these, we'll move them on. I mentioned earlier on, we've got different size cell trays. There's a bigger one there, and eventually they'll make their way into these pots. These will be the final pots before they go up to the polytunnel. But we'll come to that in later videos as we work our way through this series. Anyway, one thing I always like to mention on these videos, if you don't have cell trays from Container Wise, if you don't have fancy grow lights, you don't need them. You can move these on into an old yogurt pot. Get an old yogurt pot, put a hole in the bottom for drainage, put the compost in there, put your yogurt pot on a sunny windowsill, and it'll get the sun. The one thing you might notice is the little seedlings, they might stretch out and start leaning towards the sun in the direction it's coming from in the window. One thing you can do that is just to try and make a bit of a background out of tin foil and cardboard. I've got an older video. I apologise for the quality of the older videos because they're not quite as good as these ones. But I'll pop a little thing up there. You can go and click on it and go and have a look, and it shows you how I used an old Amazon box and a bit of tin foil to make a sort of reflective surface to help shine the light from behind as well as in front on the seedlings to stop them stretching out, becoming leggy and leaning all sorts of different weird and wonderful ways. Anyway, that is me done for today. Watch out for the next part of the chili video coming along, please. That'll probably be in about another month's time or so. There's loads of stuff. I've got more videos to make this month than I could ever imagine, and I'm struggling to get on top of them. I've got some really interesting different stuff coming up, but I'll not give anything away. There's a giveaway coming up. Watch out for that in a week or two, so we'll get that done as well. Anyway, that's me definitely done for today now. Thank you very much for watching, folks, and I'll see you on the next one. Bye for now.